If we could find one word that might help us appreciate the music of Franz Schubert, the word might well be melody. For the music of Schubert is lyrical, melodious music. It is music of a certain place and a certain time. The time was the first quarter of the 19th century, 1815, 1820, 1822. And the place was Vienna, the old and beautiful capital of Austria. Vienna today, more than a century after Schubert lived here, is still the romantic center of Viennese life. In the streets and squares, we can find much of the flavor, the personality of Vienna, the charming city of music. Here on a quiet street, we hear a Schubert melody that is a favorite with many young people. Schubert's music, the work of a youthful composer, has much appeal for young students of music. And his music is more than that. It is music that expresses Vienna, its people, its life. Today, modern Viennese life and modern Viennese music reflect the melodious influence of Franz Schubert's romantic music. Yes, Vienna is still the city of romantic music. There is still fun and laughter here. There is still beauty and sentiment here. Let's see what we can learn about Franz Schubert in this romantic city of Vienna, where he spent practically his entire life. His life began in this house, in a suburb of Vienna, in 1797. His family was poor, and little Franz was the 13th child. Here his musical education began when he was 5. Father Schubert, a schoolteacher, taught young Franz music. With his early lessons on the piano, began the training that was to give us immortal compositions. From his house, the boy Schubert could see the church where he sang in the choir, and where, years later, he performed some of his compositions. At the age of 11, young Franz won a scholarship to a famous music school in Vienna, where Mozart and Beethoven also had studied. One of Schubert's teachers said, "He can do anything. He is a genius." But the young genius was unknown and poor. The Schubert home was also a schoolhouse. Here, young Franz assisted his father, the schoolmaster, by teaching classes. Quietly, steadily, Schubert worked at his teaching tasks. Yet he never forgot his first love, music, and he composed whenever he had a chance. He wrote music quickly and easily. Among his best-known compositions are his songs, which expressed his love of melody. In Schubert's hands, the song, or Lied, as it was called in German, became an important musical form. He wrote his songs, or Lieder, about people and scenes he knew. The Wanderer is the title of one song. He wrote a gay song about a trout in a sparkling stream, with its waters cool and shady. The hurdy-gurdy man and his sad refrain became the theme of another song. One of his best-known songs is called Gretchen at the Spinning Wheel. It tells of a girl waiting for her sweetheart. Another famous love song is Schubert's Serenade. Songs and other music flowed from his pen. Yet he might have remained unknown were it not for his friends, good friends. They encouraged him and invited him to their homes. They became known as the Schubertians, singers, painters, poets, and actors who lived in Schubert's time. That time was a time of romantic poets. In England, John Keats was writing sonnets of romantic love and the beauties of nature. It was a time of romantic painting. In France, Corot and other artists were expressing themes of natural beauty. And in Austria, the Schubertians, on their picnics and outings, discussed ideas of the romantic age in which they lived. And what could be more romantic than a ride through the Vienna woods? With his favorite friends, Schubert enjoyed such simple outings in the countryside near Vienna. Often he talked about music, for it seemed that wherever he went, he was always thinking of new melodies. There are many stories told of Schubert's ability to write music almost anywhere or any time. It is said that one day when Schubert was at an inn with his friends, he read a poem that appealed to him. Using the back of a menu, he quickly set the poem to music. During his lifetime, Schubert wrote more than 600 songs. Many are still sung today, including the one called Der Lindenbaum, the linden tree. There were many other songs, including Der Erlkönig, the Earl King. It was based on a poem by Goethe, the romantic writer whose work influenced Schubert. Schubert was also influenced by men such as Beethoven, the great master. And there are passages in Schubert's unfinished symphony that remind us of the powerful and majestic themes of Beethoven. During his days at the music school, Schubert had learned of Mozart's music too. In describing the music of Mozart, Schubert once said that he seemed to hear singing angels in it. Does this chamber music by Schubert remind you of Mozart's style? Yes, Schubert's music reflects a variety of styles and moods. But always it is built on melodies, tuneful, unforgettable melodies, such as no one before Schubert had written. We find such haunting melodies in one of Schubert's greatest works, the Symphony No. 8 in B minor, often called the Unfinished. This is music that sums up the work of Franz Schubert. The melodious music that reflects the world of Romanticism.